Hello, today is the 19th of August 2021, and my name is Eliza DeVries. I am an evolutionary astrologer, medium, and intuitive. That is the branch of my metaphysical pursuits. I've got other parts of my life that are also equally exciting, working with animals, and I am a photographic artist. If you like this video, please subscribe. If you would like a personal reading, I give readings over the phone or in person all over the world. And you just have to write me at angelicmercy44@gmail.com. Today's video, I've had so many readings, so many questions about what the heck is going on right now. Why are we feeling so extremely agitated? Why does everything feel so revved up? Well, the main focus this year has been the Uranus in Taurus, breaking up all the old value systems, structures, even breaking up Mother Earth herself. Taurus ruling the earth, the oceans, the planet itself. And in addition to that, it's been squaring Saturn in Aquarius. So we've been deeply examining the course of humanity. Aquarius ruling humanity, not just individual. Leo is its opposite sign, and it is the more personalized ego and creative expression of self, where Aquarius is more broad, diverse, and covering nationalities, countries all over the world. So you've seen not only in the United States, but in all countries, a lot of karmic retribution coming back, the chickens coming home to roost, so to speak. The reason I want to do this video is we are building in the United States, and the United States being one of the countries that most impacts the world, we are building globally a powerful inner revolution, outer transformation, and reassessment of all the ways that we have in our lives, personally and globally, betrayed other people, ourselves, other countries. Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio, so it is not, to my in my personal opinion, an accident that we have a Scorpio president with 4 planets in Scorpio, because we are in what I will call the Plutonic times. And next year we are going to have back and forth, starting on February 19th, the Pluto return of the United States. This has not occurred since the Declaration of Independence. So this shows you how powerful this transit is. So the country is being uprooted from all of its old, the way it was structured, the way it was set out. We come for a review of that. How was that? Was that a healthy constitution? Was the way that it was structured internally regarding freedom? Was there real freedom? Are we facing karma at this time? The Pluto also is revealing a lot of, it's an expose time. It's a time of exposure of all this stuff that's been hidden away, kept in the gutter, hidden under the rock. It's all coming to the fore. So Pluto is, over the next year, we have been building and building. This year, Uranus breaking everything open and cracking our value system, saying, what are your values? What do you really believe in? What are you living by? And then the Pluto coming along and saying, well, we got to throw this out. We got to get rid of that. We've got to redo this. We've got to redo the United States. We have to take a look, and it's not unnatural during such a transit that there are revolutionary upheavals. So I would expect more of that. I would expect pockets of revolutionary resistance to, how would I say it? I've written down a couple of things here, but basically to our banking systems, to our medical systems, to how we look after our own lives. We also should be circumspect at this time as the housing market takes off and accelerates and escalates out in the ionosphere. We should be very aware and cautious that this could hit a roadblock down the road over the next year to 2 years, and everything make a profound readjustment. Because Pluto is about readjustment. Pluto is about bringing things back into the more reasonable availability. And Pluto does rule other people's money. For example, the mortgages we have, the joint ventures that we are in. It rules birth, death. It rules our attitude to death. So you may see some profound changes in the medical system. You may see a lot of people facing their own mortality, and rather than going into fear zones, transforming their own personal reflections on death and their own personal experience of death. We'll also be having a lot of the lies and the deceit that have gone on within the U.S. Constitution and the U.S. government exposed. A lot is going to be brought to the surface over the next 1 to 3 years, starting February 19th. But what's happening right now, it's kind of like we've talked before about that wave sucking back and all of this stuff milling around and then cresting and crushing forward with a lot of change over the next couple of years. So it's not just the United States that will be affected, because we are now all so interconnected through the internet, through our financial systems, through what goes on in other parts of the world. You see this week just in Afghanistan how that has affected so many countries that were involved there. Our attitude about war, is that being revolutionized? Are we shifting how we view war? Are we also attending to people that feel incredibly betrayed over there, or the soldiers that feel betrayed by the way the exit was handled? Now, I wrote on my page today on Facebook that there is always a right day for doing the right thing. There's never a wrong day for doing the right thing, which means the exit plan or strategy may not have been fully understood or foreseen what was going to happen, but the actual getting out of there for the war-weary country was of a good timing with Saturn squaring Uranus. So next year we are going to have Pluto exactly at 27 degrees, conjuncting the 27-degree mark of the United States at the time of July 4th, 1776. This is a powerful transit. It's the first time the United States has gone through this transit. The second thing that's going to occur throughout the year is that Saturn, Pluto takes about 247 years to go around the chart, give or take a few years. Saturn takes 28 to 30 years to go around the chart. So we're going to have Saturn hitting the moon of the United States, the moon being in Aquarius. So that's the public. The moon in the United States chart represents all the people of the United States. It represents our daily lives. And it's sitting in the house of communication. We're also going to have Saturn sitting on top of, let me see there's another planet here. Saturn is going to be sitting right on Venus. So we're going to take a curtail how we spend money. Venus is very much related to how we spend money. There's also going to be probably, this will be very much related in the third house of communication to the voting rights. There's going to be enormous plutonic battles over the voting rights next year. You're going to see that in spades because this is in the house of communication. Voting is in that house. You're also going to see the Saturn on the moon, that people are going to be more careful with their money, not spending it to the same degree. There's going to be more of a reassessment of our daily lives, and there could be people that are feeling emotionally isolated. That is a standard thing when the moon is transited by Saturn. This Pluto-Saturn transit over the natal Pluto and over the nation's moon is going to go back and forth throughout the entire year of 2022. So 2022 is going to be a powerful year in our country. And it's a time when we really need to take hold of our own being and understand our weaknesses, our failures, our deceits, our hypocrisies, our own personal ways of being divisive. That divisiveness is being broken down. And over the next 4 years, I feel in the United States, this is what my guides told me, that over the next 4 years in the United States, the country is going to have some major upheavals, but then it's going to come together more. That the end result of Pluto is always a rebirth. It's a sense of destroying and recreating something into a better form. So over the next 4 years, you're going to see Pluto reaching the highest degrees in Capricorn, restructuring all the government, the ways of doing things, and then moving into Aquarius, where it will be for the next 15 to 17 years. So this next year is very powerful. The next 2 years, very powerful. So I thought I would draw a few cards on what I feel coming up. What is going on right now? Like, why are we feeling so much fear? Well, the fear already existed within us, and it's being uprooted by the incessant focus by the media on fear-based zones, whether it's war or the pandemic or divisive political opinions. The fear zones are being stoked, but these fear zones lived deep within the soul of all of us. And so it's a time of opportunity to clear out our own personal fears and lift our own vibrations so that we can move into a more confident emanation of divine love and forgiveness and divine wisdom. We are not operating out of our wisdom self right now. There's a lot of reactiveness on the planet at this time. Jumping to conclusions. For example, when I look at the war that was ended in Afghanistan, I see that as a good thing, even if it was handled less efficiently than we would have hoped, because our country and our world has to understand that we are a global entity, that we are universally connected not only to each other but to all of life. So the Uranus in Taurus right now is showing us the incredible higher consciousness that we have to assume and take on for climate change. We can't wait anymore. Uranus is striking like a lightning bolt. Think of the Tower card in Tarot. The tower is being hit by lightning, cracking open like the Tower of Babel, so that the divisiveness which occurred in that tower can all be broken apart, and we can have the whole thing rebuilt, joining hands. We must do this as a world. And Uranus square Saturn is saying, with Saturn being in Aquarius, humanity, the earth, humanity has to join together now. This is probably the biggest message of the year, is the climate change. Beyond COVID, beyond the war in Afghanistan, beyond the revolution on January 6th, the uprising. This is the focus of those two major planets which are in play all year long. This is where we're being kicked in the derriere and told, get on with it. Get working on the climate. And if we don't, if we continue to be divisive and bicker, etc., we're going to go down with the planet. The planet will survive, we won't. So the question here is, how much do we wish to engage ourselves to really stand for our planet and really reconsider our own lifestyle habits? How much do we need? How much are we sharing? How much are we our brother's keeper? How much are we looking out for those who have so little? And a lot of people who have so little, they've worked damn hard all their lives, but they've had a lot of issues or a lot of suffering or a lot of situations visited upon them that have not given them the same choices that other people got. So this is a time of reaching out our hands and joining together. Look at Haiti right now. That's a perfect example of the Saturn in Aquarius, Uranus in Taurus. The earth just smashing wide open there, and then followed by rainstorms and worrying about the environment. So it's just, that is kind of a symbol of what's going on at a deep core level with our world. We just haven't seen it everywhere yet. I had a man come to me who's very well known in real estate, and they're going to do a series of him on Netflix talking about real estate. And he wanted a reading from me of my predictions about real estate, about the world, about what's going to happen. And to be an honest intuitive is to be authentic, is to express the wisdom that the guides are giving you, like the Hopi Indians did, or the Aborigine. It's not to be a pessimist, it is to wake up to people. And what I saw was incredible drought in certain parts of the United States, and warming, as we all know. That's not an intuitive message, we all see that. But I did see the drought, and I saw exoduses from certain parts of the United States and relocating much, much more than you can imagine over the next 2 years. So that is another Plutonic expression that will occur of the rebirth of some new areas of the United States and the leaving of some areas, such as big parts of California. Because the drought is not going to get better, it's going to get worse before it gets better. We're going to have to think of salination plants, how to harness the ocean, how to clean up our oceans, and how to deal with the fires and the drought and the which we have created. We may have to shift entirely how the fact that we have gardens and lawns, and in California decide that we will have only plants that are native to the area that do not draw upon the ecosystem. So I'm going to just draw a couple of cards. First for 2021, I'm giving a card for the next part of this year. And I did this on the 19th of August, exactly opposite the 19th of February, which is the Pluto return. So the next 6 months, the first card, okay? So here she is, coming out of the cave. He, she, trying to figure out what to do, holding a staff, has been in a place of deep contemplation, isolation. It's not the brightest of colors. There's a lot of earthy colors, a lot of earth tones. There is a protective golden light around, and blue. The blue of the mother, the gold of the father. But where she is, and she's holding a tree, and she's looking perturbed, she's looking concerned what to do. And her left hand is facing down toward the earth. She's pointing at the earth. This is where we are. We got to think about these things. Let's see what's coming up for February 19th, the exact day of Pluto return. What is that Pluto return going to be? This card has exactly the same colors as this card. Exactly. And as you all know in my deck, he's sitting, he or she is sitting, listening to vibrational music, trying to heal the self. And the angelic presence is over him, trying to bring a message. Now he's playing his own music. The angel is trying to reach him. And we don't know if he's listening or if he's too caught up in what he's doing. But the help is there. And I can tell you right now, the earth is absolutely surrounded by beings of light right now, trying to wake us up, trying to bring in higher energies. And those higher energies, people think, oh, I'm in this great state of awakening, it's all going to be hunky-dory. It's not like that. When you receive a lot of light, it hits all the little dark spots and the things you've repressed, pushed down, avoided, lied to yourself about, or denied. And those are going to come to the surface. So the light is accelerating and coming to the earth right now. This is not news to anybody that's in any form of metaphysical study. What you're going to do with that light and how much you're going to reflect on your own life and on the love and forgiveness of yourself and others, and the uniting and assisting of others, the divine angelic mercy that you're going to show not only to others but to yourself. This will be the real question. And the divine mercy to our blessed Holy Mother Earth. And I don't mean to be fatalistic today, but I have to say what I'm hearing. And the other thing that I noticed in the news this week is that the gray whales are starting to die all over the world. Now, a lot of that is coming from the supersonic waves of noise that they're being subjected to under the waters. And they're very, very sensitive creatures, and it's literally blasting out their eardrums. So there's just so much that I could go on about. I don't want to sound completely negative, because I like to bring in also the gift of the understanding of the power of light, and that right now we need to turn off the TV a lot of the time and really, you know, one thing, it would be very, very helpful on YouTube. I found some wonderful chanting vibrational music, which will clean your whole energy field. So as the light is coming into your crown and down your spine and through the 250,000 nerve endings in your body, a lot's coming to the surface, excuse me, and the chanting will then clear it away and soothe you again. And I would suggest that you listen to something like this. There's a great one by Tina Turner called the Lotus Song that I would advise would be very helpful. Not that you have to be a Buddhist, but the power of vibration is extraordinarily healing, clearing, and uplifting. And that, beyond everything else, is what we really need right now. I will draw one last card for 2022. Well, this is a lovely, positive card to end on. It's somebody jumping for joy. It's finding joy again. It's finding, and she's surrounded by green, so the healing energies are bringing her back to a state of joy. And if you look at her, she almost looks like the Statue of Liberty, the crown on her head, like the Statue of Liberty. And because we're talking about the Pluto return of the United States, because the card speaks a different way every time we look at it, according to what we're asking, I would say this is a new sense of liberation in the United States, a real focus on freedom, and a real revisal of things that need to be changed within our country, and a sense of freedom. So I think that the voting rights issue is going to be a major issue next year. It's going to be something we really focus on, and who's allowed to vote, and why is this area got such low representation and this area got such high representation compared to population. So we're going to be looking at a lot of that next year. So I think that's a good sign. It means we're heading toward more freedom. We're heading toward more personal inner freedom and inner joy. And when we're in a state of inner joy, we're able to be more merciful and more wise in our choices. We're not in that state of desperation. So I'm going to end there, my friends. If you would like to have a reading, do contact me. And always remember, as Shakespeare said, the quality of mercy is not strained. It droppeth as the gentle rain from heaven upon the place beneath. It is twice blessed. It blesseth him who gives and he who receives. Let's give. Let's look around and see who needs some help. And let's be merciful. How much do we need? God be with you. Thank you for staying with me this far through the video. It's going to be an exciting year, and I've got a lot more to share very soon. Bye for now.